Hi everyone. I wanted to just say a few words really about how things are going for you on your third week of either lockdown or social isolation and lack of gyms, lack of sporting activities. I have written a blog about this, but I sort of wanted to do a bit of a chat as well because Easter's coming. And we're all heading to a weekend that's very different to what we might have planned or what we might have expected. So in fact, no matter where you are in the world, it's going to be a really quiet weekend, and really not much different to any other day of the week for the last few weeks or even months. So it's a little bit of an odd time for everybody. And we're all dealing with a lot of change at the moment to our work life, to our family life, shopping habits, visits to the doctor, of course, our social activities and connections and mental health. But also our physical activity, and all of those are interlinked. And I think mental health, certainly in the next few months, is something that we really do need to be very, very aware of, for not just ourselves but our friends as well. Um, my opinion, I think we're in this for the long haul, and so we've all had the last few weeks adjusting. Maybe getting overexcited at the start and doing 100 million things, or not doing anything and going into complete meltdown. But it's probably now's the time to knuckle down, get into a new routine, and find those things that are now the new normal. Um, if you have, like me, found yourself glued to social media, seeing what everyone else is doing, reading the news obsessively, what's happened overnight, trying to get involved in the, well, I should go out on my bike, or should I go out on my bike discussions online. There's a lot of people saying, oh, don't go on your bikes because if you fall off, the NHS are going to have even more problems. It's time, I think, to stop some of that, focus on ourselves, and focus on the positives, focus on the forward. What can we do now? Life has changed. We can't do anything about it. So let's focus on ourselves. So really, there's a lot we can do to take control of our lives again. And that's what it's about, right? It's about being in control of the controllables. It's like a race. If you are a triathlete, a runner, a swimmer, a cyclist, there are things in your race you can control. There's things you cannot control. And you have to accept those, but we can control the controllables. So I'm not about helping you with your family's social life or work, but I can talk about fitness and what positive things you can do to get back your control in your life and some positivity if you're feeling a bit lost. Many people, I think, are thinking, well, what's the point in doing any training? I've got no races. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm lost, and maybe I'm just going to train for the sake of training because I've got loads of time, or I'm just going to not do anything because I've lost my motivation. I can't be asked. I don't know what the point is. How long is this going to last? So I think it's important to give yourself a goal. And it doesn't matter if it's an event, because these are a moving target at the moment, but it can be a challenge for you to work on and work towards. It might be you've been meaning to beat that half-hour marathon time or a 25-minute K time. You can still do these, and you can still have a plan and a smart goal to get to that point. Or working on your functional threshold power on your bike. Or is it just building a strong, able body to support you in everything else that you've got to do? Perhaps you want to be able to do a full body press up rather than those press ups on your knees. A goal is a goal. As long as it's smart, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely, do it. Just do it and stick with it and tell people about it. Share it with your friends. You can still remotely compete against this goal. You can still use social media to share what you've done, and get some positive feedback from it. So I think goals are a really good way. For me, well, my goal was the World Champs in Edmonton in August. Am I going to go? I don't know. Am I still going to train for it? Yeah, it's August. It could happen. And if it doesn't, what's the worst that could happen? I'm fitter, stronger, faster than I was because I've still stuck with my training and it's given me a purpose. So I think it's all about having a bit of a purpose and maintaining that fitness without doing too much, because that's my next point. It's very easy just to go, well, I've got loads of time. I'm going to train myself to death. And that's a little bit of my problem. But actually, races are off the cards for a few months. We can take the foot off the gas a little bit. restore our balance, let our parasympathetic nervous system take over, rest and digest, just reduce the stress on the body. Because one of the things that, in times of high stress, as in the situation at the moment, if you're adding more stress by training really hard and getting really tired, what's your resistance going to be like if you do come into contact with someone with COVID-19? You don't really want to be in a weakened immune state because of everything else that you're doing and all the stress that you're taking on. So think about that. Take some time off. Be kind to yourself. Do some yoga, some stretching, do some knitting, if that's what you like to do, or some baking. Spend quality time with your family at home where you can. Read a book, write a blog, learn a language, doesn't really matter. Do something different that you don't normally do or can't do in your previous chaotic life, busy life. You've probably seen that Facebook meme going around saying, something about I put off cleaning because I didn't have time. Now I realise it wasn't because I don't have time. You have time. Doesn't mean you have to do the cleaning, because we all hate cleaning, but you do have time. So if that stuff that you've been putting off, just do it. You don't want to actually, in 3 or 4 months' time, look back and go, well, I had all this time to myself and all I did was sulk and moan and complain. Actually, you could make it a really positive time and do some of those things that you've been meaning to do, even if it's cleaning out the bloody kitchen cupboards. So the other thing is social media. Social media has its positives and its negatives, but I think you can use it really, really positively. Some of you I know have been joining me on the daily workouts, and it's great. I'm having some fantastic messages back from people, and I'm loving it, that I'm encouraging people to get out of bed in their day and start their day in a positive way. And there's other exercises for physical exercise. Joe Wicks, there's millions of people doing online stuff. You don't have to just follow me, but obviously I prefer it if you did. But find your thing. Everyone's different. Find something that works for you. Date, time, routine. Stick with it. Make it a routine. And the other thing is use social media to reconnect with people. I know lots of people having cocktail parties on Zoom or house party or whatever it is. And I think that's fantastic. It's a new way. It's just a new way of communicating. It's not right. It's not wrong. It's not better. It's not worse. It's just different, and that's okay. For me, I live across the other side of the world from my family, and for the first time in 18 months that I've been here, we have actually had Skype calls with my mum, my brother, and my sister every Sunday. It's wine o'clock for me. It's coffee o'clock for them. And I swear they look like they're sitting in for the day. And it's a huge positive outcome. So I think we do have to think about the positive outcomes. And there'll be more that you could think of. And finally, if you are a triathlete, you've lost your swimming, haven't you? It's a bit of a pain. In fact, it's a huge pain. But think about it. In a race, the swim isn't the thing that makes your race better or worse, really. If you can spend this time getting stronger on your bike, that makes a massive difference to your race. Think of the positives. There are swimming exercises you can do. You can get bands. You can do some to keep those shoulders strong and keep those swimming actions fresh. But what you shouldn't be doing is filling your day or your week with 2 to 3 extra runs or bikes to make up for the lost swims. You'll just get exhausted. You'll get injured. And that's even less fun than being locked down, not being able to go out at all. So you can work on your technique. You can create sessions that are short and low intensity, that are just working on your bike skills. Maybe you need to work on transition. Now is the time to be able to do that. You can increase your strength, your core strength, your upper body strength. And finally, get outside whilst you can. Certainly the UK and Australia, I'm not familiar with everywhere else in the world, you can get out. In the UK, once a day, get out and do your exercise. Make the most of it. It's fantastic being out in the fresh air. As you know, it does wonders for your mental health and obviously your physical health. I know it's going to be a good weekend coming up for Easter. So just go out. Go out and exercise. Make the most of it. Be safe. Don't do silly things. Don't go up mountain biking on crazy, dangerous roads. But, you know, be sensible, get your training in, you'll feel so much better for it. So, you know, we're all in this together. Let's look out for each other, take care of our physical and mental health, and work on the controllables. Control the controllables. And be positive. On top of that, try not to eat too much chocolate over Easter. It's good for you for a limit, to a point. And then you're just going to have to train harder to work it off. So don't want to do that. Anyway, for those of you who are listening, thank you. For those of you who are doing my exercises weekday, thank you again. And have a fantastic Easter break. Okay, guys, bye for now.